Okay, let's see if I can get this thing aimed properly. Medicine. Okay, so first of all, it's been a long while since I've said anything, either on Facebook or YouTube. I was on Facebook yesterday, and I will explain what that's about later. But first, uh, to my very dear friend Iglika Nikolova Stupak, I'm sorry for my silence. I have had so much going on. I mean, of course, he has risen, and I meant to send you a message stating so. I realized I'd forgotten to do that on Tuesday. Let me start from the beginning last week. I spent all weekend working on my car so that it would be ready to take my father to his doctor's appointment on Monday. He saw a hematologist oncologist, basically. She specializes in disorders of the bone marrow. And she had scheduled a biopsy, a bone marrow biopsy, for Wednesday. So we talked to her, and it turns out that my father has yet another type of cancer called myelodysplastic disorder, myelodysplastic syndrome. They've given him 8 units of blood over the past month and a half, which is basically a complete change out for a man. His bone marrow is not producing platelets. He has to receive a shot to make the remaining bone marrow, of which there apparently is not much, produce platelets. He poo-poos the notion, but I feel like if I could find someone with O positive blood who was willing to be a bone marrow donor, I might be able to convince them to do a bone marrow transplant, which is really a good thing. I mean, that would be a lifesaver, literally, because part of his chemo was actually immunotherapy. It's a drug called Udenyca. And he did have his chronic myelogenous leukemia under control. But they gave him the Udenyca. Now he has chronic myeloma, myelodysplastic syndrome, and small cell carcinoma. He's basically covered by 3 snipers. But I still believe in miracles, and I will continue to pray. So, anyway, what was yesterday's rant on YouTube about? Okay, at this visit I mentioned, the doctor gave him a schedule of his different visits. Showed when chemotherapy would be, when Udenyca shots would be, when the shots of the red platelets would be. This is like a 6-week schedule. Okay? Showed up yesterday. It says April 8th, Monday, infusion. Infusion means chemotherapy. It's supposed to be followed by the shot. They gave him the shot. And he was like, okay, Mr. Nickell, have a nice day. So my parents and I basically said, oh, wait a minute. He's supposed to receive chemotherapy. Where's this chemotherapy? Okay. So basically, one of the nurses took the schedule and called the doctors. And she says they changed it. I strongly suspect that she invaded upon them to change it to suit their shot. Because, I mean, what the hell? They weren't prepared to do it. And, well, basically, here's where the rant comes in. First of all, some of you may not know. In the 1990s, I went to the University of Houston. It was originally to learn to write, so I could write books and stuff. But somewhere along the way, I ended up with a degree in electronic communication. It's basically a degree in communication, but with audio and video production added in. The basic degree is communication. Why do I mention this? I have a degree in communication. So I'm pretty damn much going to know if things are going according to that Cool Hand Luke line. What we have here is a failure to communicate. And that pretty much describes yesterday and the previous visits and the hospitalization, the whole damn thing from the diagnosis. There is no top-down leadership. Okay? There's no top-down leadership. In my time in New Mexico, I knew some really outstanding doctors. Dr. Bill Melton, Dr. Frank Arthur English, Dr. Bob Smith, Jr. Really cool, really up-to-date, best doctors you could hope to see. One thing they had in common was they had really good nurses. I mean, these nurses were at the top of their game. But one thing those nurses never did was contradict the doctor. Not once did they ever say, oh, let me go talk to Dr. English or Dr. Minton, because I don't think this is the way it should be done. And the real simple reason is, had they done so, they would have been escorted from the premises, and probably their nursing licenses would have been fed to a shredder. Because there was a strict hierarchy when I was growing up. If you wanted to be a doctor, you paid the extra tuition, you went to medical school, you did your residency, you did your fellowship. And with the doctors I'm talking about, with the exception of Dr. Bob Jr., you also did your time in the military. They were military doctors in World War II. But what I'm getting at here is being a doctor requires a lot more education and a lot more time and a lot more help to being a nurse. So I feel that the nurses are to a degree dictating to the doctors And that's true. That's not only offensive, that's dangerous. Strategies uh, should be formulated by specialists in their field. For instance, he's going to UT Health Oncology. I would prefer that the strategy be dictated by oncologists. I really would. I feel that oncologists know more. I understand nurses, they're excellent. They save lives. They can start an IV and you barely feel it. But they're not oncologists. To use an example, my father was in a nuclear propulsion program, the Navy nuclear propulsion program. He shared quite a bit about nuclear power with me. He let me read some of his unshredded notebooks. But that in no way means that I can run a nuclear reactor. That requires going to nuclear power school. Okay, so instead of this little round table that they may have, uh, I feel much better with the top down strategy, a top down chain of command. It's how we won World War II. You sure as hell can't be that the orders come from the top and they go all the way down. From the highest officer to a butt private. And that's the way I want medicine to be. Now, this one of these nurses had a new sheet printed up. And she was going to destroy the old sheet. We had to ask for it 3 times. And even then, she was kind of combative about not giving it back. By God, I got it back. Okay, kids, plug your ears. Daddy's about to use some adult language. I don't mind working with medical professionals. But if I ever catch them fucking me or fucking one of mine, I will fuck right back. And it will not end in an orgasm. If this continues and my father dies, I will find a way to pay for a private autopsy. And I will find the meanest fucking lawyer. And I will file a wrongful death suit against the hospital and against UT Oncology. That's what's going to happen. Now, enough of that. Hopefully they're going to get their stuff together. Hopefully they'll quit pulling strategies out of their asses. Schedule is schedule, and by damn, stick to it. Okay, don't give us a new one every visit. Hell, if you're going to do that, why bother? Just tell us when the next appointment is and go no further. Okay, so end of rant there. I'm going to change to GoFundMe because I realized what I asked for in the beginning when I was full of sheer terror was a handout. I don't need a handout. I need a hand up. And I'm going to explain it in a new GoFundMe. Basically, I will be asking for a hand up. Small amount of money from a large amount of people. And I will take down the names of everybody who gave to me. I will consider it a loan. And once I get things off the ground, and the ground is, the whole thing is running smoothly, I will pay you back. It may be a year, it may be 2 years, it may be 5 years, depending on how things go. I will pay you back. Okay, that is the new strategy. I don't know what I was thinking, asking for handouts for the next 9, 10 years. Uh, I plead mind-numbing terror after finding out that my father was probably going to die. Um, so yeah, I'll get to work on that GoFundMe. I'll explain exactly what I need, which is not that much money. I need enough to get off the ground. It will be a loan, and every contributor will be repaid in full. If it's going really well, I'll give you some interest, but I may not be able to pay interest. Okay, so did everybody see the eclipse today? It was really cloudy here in Houston, but you know what? I saw the eclipse. I was sitting in a car, and all of a sudden the lights came on in the supermarket parking lot while my mother was dawdling around, creeping around inside, as she usually does. And I looked up through the windshield, and I saw a crescent sun. 80% of it gone. It was really dark. And yeah, okay. Last time I remember that was somewhere like 78, 79. We used a little pinhole in a box, and we looked at that. But the fact is, there will be medical professionals who would disagree with this. But the fact is, the whole thing about the eclipse glasses was nearly a bunch of pissing and moaning. My eyes were not hurt in the least looking at that crescent sun. If I'd been where there was totality, my eyes would not have been hurt in the least looking at that. I have looked directly into the full sun and not lost my vision. Now, I mean, if you're dumb enough to do it 2 or 3 hours, yeah, you're going to go blind. But if you just glance at it for a minute or so, you will not go blind. If that were true, we would have gone blind millennia ago. So, yeah. I hope everybody enjoyed the eclipse. I hope everybody enjoyed their Easter. And just a reminder, cherish your family. Appreciate your family members, your friends, your spouse. They may make you want to strangle them. They may make you want to snort a line of coke, drink a shot of Everclear, and light up a joint. But never ever wish them dead. And never ever take them for granted. They'll be gone. They will be gone. It will happen suddenly, generally. No warning. You're going to feel like somebody ran you through with the sword. Or as the Aussies like to say, you're going to be gutted. Okay? So, love your families. Or at least tolerate them. Two Latin phrases to look up if you don't know what they mean, and they perfectly define everything I just said. Tempus fugit. Memento mori. Have a good night, everybody.